Imagine an era when humans hadn't yet learned to plant crops, but had already mastered the skies. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors took a bold step that would change everything. They domesticated birds. But why? And how did this transform the course of human history? Get ready for a journey through time that will amaze you. In prehistoric times, animal domestication marked a turning point for the survival and development of the first human communities. While we often hear about the taming of mammals like dogs and cattle, few know that birds played an equally crucial role in shaping our past. These fascinating creatures weren't just a source of food. They became an essential part of rituals and beliefs that shaped the daily lives of our ancestors. Think about it. Before humans knew how to grow their own food, they had already figured out how to form partnerships with creatures that could soar through the clouds. These early bird tamers were truly remarkable innovators, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in their time. The relationship between humans and birds would go on to influence everything from survival strategies to spiritual practices, forever changing how our species interacted with the natural world. The story of bird domestication is a tale of innovation, survival, and the remarkable ability of our ancestors to adapt and thrive. It's a testament to human ingenuity and our endless capacity to forge connections with the world around us. If you love history and want to uncover the mysteries of the great ancient empires, hit that like button, subscribe to the dawn of humankind, and don't miss a single episode of our journey through time. Stay tuned as we explore how these early bird tamers changed the course of human civilization forever. Let's dig into the fascinating evidence of our ancestors' first attempts to tame the skies. Deep in the heart of ancient China, more than 7,000 years ago, something remarkable was happening. Archaeologists have unearthed chicken bones from ancient settlements that tell an incredible story of human innovation. These weren't just the remains of hunted wild birds. The bones showed clear signs that these chickens were being raised and cared for by humans. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Chickens were just the beginning of this amazing journey. Across different corners of the ancient world, our clever ancestors were experimenting with various bird species. They managed to domesticate ducks, geese, and even the magnificent peacocks. Each region developed its own unique relationship with these feathered companions. Speaking of ancient civilizations and their relationship with birds, let me share something truly fascinating about the Egyptians. You might think mummies were just for pharaohs and sacred cats, but the ancient Egyptians had such deep reverence for geese that they actually mummified them. These birds were considered sacred animals, closely connected to Amun, one of their most powerful gods. When important people died, mummified geese would accompany them on their journey to the afterlife. The archaeological evidence we've found tells us an amazing story of trial and error, of humans learning to work with these incredible creatures. They figured out how to provide shelter, how to encourage breeding, and how to create a sustainable food source that would change human society forever. Each bone fragment, each ancient coop foundation, and each artifact we discover adds another piece to this incredible puzzle, showing us just how resourceful and innovative our ancestors truly were. They didn't just capture birds, they created lasting partnerships that would shape human civilization for thousands of years to come. When we think about survival in prehistoric times, we often imagine our ancestors hunting large game or gathering berries. But there's another fascinating chapter to this story, the brilliant decision to domesticate birds. This wasn't just about having meat on hand. It was about creating a reliable food system that would change human society forever. Picture this. You're living in a prehistoric community where hunting is a gamble. Some days you might return with plenty of food, other days with nothing at all. Now, imagine having a constant source of food right in your settlement. Birds provided exactly that, not just through their meat, but through something even more valuable: eggs. These small protein-rich packages were nothing short of miraculous for our ancestors. They were easy to collect, simple to store, and provided essential nutrients that helped keep communities healthy and strong. Here's something fascinating. Archaeological evidence suggests that egg consumption played a crucial role in human brain development. The reliable protein source from domesticated birds meant that children could grow stronger, and communities could support more members than ever before. This steady food supply changed everything. Instead of constantly moving to follow herds of wild animals, communities could now stay in one place, knowing they had a dependable source of nutrition. This was revolutionary. It led to the establishment of the first permanent settlements, the earliest villages that would eventually grow into the great civilizations we know today. Think about it. The simple act of keeping birds nearby and collecting their eggs helped transform humans from wandering hunter-gatherers into settled communities. These early bird keepers were essentially the world's first farmers, creating a food production system that would change the course of human history. It's amazing to think that something as simple as keeping chickens in your backyard today connects us directly to these innovative ancestors who first figured out how to partner with birds for survival. The relationship between humans and birds went far beyond the dining table. These magnificent creatures held a special place in the spiritual lives of ancient peoples, playing roles that would astonish us today. Their ability to soar through the skies made them natural symbols of the divine, bridging the gap between earth and heaven. Imagine being in an ancient ceremony where elaborate headdresses adorned with vibrant feathers caught the light, creating an almost magical atmosphere. These weren't just decorative choices. Each feather held deep spiritual significance. Native American cultures believed that eagle feathers carried prayers to the heavens, while in ancient Mesopotamia, priests used bird omens to make crucial decisions about warfare and governance. Here's something remarkable. Many ancient cultures independently developed the belief that birds were divine messengers. When a bird would perch nearby and sing, our ancestors didn't just hear a pleasant melody. They believed they were receiving messages from the gods themselves. In ancient Rome, special priests called augurs would spend years learning to interpret bird calls and flight patterns, their readings affecting everything from military campaigns to political decisions. The spiritual connection with birds was so profound that many cultures incorporated them into their creation myths. The ancient Egyptians believed that a cosmic goose laid the egg from which the sun god emerged. Meanwhile, in Chinese mythology, birds were seen as carriers of immortality, with magical creatures like the three-legged crow appearing in various legends. Did you know that the Egyptians took their reverence for birds so seriously that they mummified geese alongside their pharaohs? It's just one of countless examples showing how deeply birds were woven into the fabric of ancient spiritual life. If you're enjoying this journey through time and want to discover more fascinating stories about our ancestors, make sure to like this video and subscribe to The Dawn of Humankind. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Which bird do you think played the most important role in prehistoric times? Share your answer in the comments below. The impact of bird domestication on daily life was far more revolutionary than most people realize. It's a fascinating tale of how these feathered companions transformed human communities in ways our ancestors could never have predicted. Picture an early farming settlement. As humans were just beginning to understand agriculture, they faced a constant battle against crop-destroying insects, but they had unexpected allies in this fight: their domesticated birds. Chickens, ducks, and other fowl would naturally patrol the fields, eagerly feeding on insects that would otherwise devastate the crops. It was nature's own pest control system, and it worked brilliantly. Here's something remarkable. Archaeological evidence suggests that settlements with domesticated birds had significantly better crop yields. These communities discovered that letting their birds roam freely through their fields created a perfect symbiotic relationship. The birds got a feast of insects, and the farmers got protected crops. Talk about a win-win situation. But the benefits didn't stop there. As birds scratched and pecked at the soil, they naturally tilled and fertilized it with their droppings. This accidental fertilization system helped create richer, more productive soil. Some historians believe this might have been one of the first examples of humans understanding the concept of soil enrichment, long before formal farming techniques were developed. This partnership between humans and birds became one of the foundation stones of settled agricultural life. Communities that might have otherwise struggled to maintain their crops found themselves with a natural advantage. It's fascinating to think that these early farmers might not have realized they were pioneering agricultural techniques that would be used for thousands of years to come. The presence of domesticated birds created a sort of early warning system too. Wild birds would often flee at the first sign of predators or dangerous weather, and domesticated birds would follow suit, alerting their human caretakers to potential threats. This simple behavior might have saved countless lives and crops throughout history. So next time you see chickens pecking around a farmyard, remember, you're watching the descendants of the animals that helped humanity transition from nomadic hunting to settled farming. These seemingly simple creatures were actually key players in one of the most important transitions in human history. Long before luxury cars and designer clothes, birds were the ultimate status symbols of the ancient world. Imagine walking into a tribal leader's compound and seeing magnificent peacocks strutting around, their iridescent feathers catching the sunlight. This was the equivalent of parking a golden chariot in your driveway. The more exotic and rare the bird, the greater the prestige it brought to its owner. Tribal chiefs and early rulers went to extraordinary lengths to acquire and maintain these living symbols of power. Peacocks, native to India, were so highly prized that they were traded along the ancient Silk Road, traveling thousands of miles to reach eager collectors in distant lands. Here's a fascinating detail. In ancient China, the emperor claimed exclusive rights to raise certain exotic birds. The golden pheasant, with its brilliant plumage, was reserved solely for imperial gardens. Anyone else caught keeping these birds could face severe punishment. Talk about an extreme case of bird ownership regulation. These prize birds weren't just kept for show, they played crucial roles in diplomatic relations. Picture this. Two tribal leaders meeting for important negotiations. One presents the other with a pair of magnificent pheasants, birds that might have taken months to acquire through complex trade networks. This wasn't just a gift, it was a powerful statement of wealth, influence, and goodwill. During ceremonial gatherings, these birds would be displayed in specially constructed aviaries. Ancient texts describe elaborate birdhouses decorated with precious metals and gems, creating miniature palaces for these feathered status symbols. Some rulers even had special attendants whose sole job was to care for these prestigious pets. The tradition of birds as status symbols was so powerful that it influenced art and architecture. In ancient Persian palaces, walls were adorned with intricate mosaics featuring exotic birds, while Roman villas often included elaborate bird-themed frescoes, showing just how deeply these animals were woven into the fabric of elite society. Think of it this way: in a world before photography and instant communication, having rare and beautiful birds was like having a living, breathing art collection that everyone could see and admire. It was a way of showing not just wealth, but also one's connections to distant lands and ability to maintain such delicate creatures. These birds were the ultimate influences of their time, centuries before social media came along. The legacy of bird domestication continues to shape our world in remarkable ways. Today, these incredible creatures are woven into the very fabric of human civilization, playing roles that our ancestors could never have imagined. Think about it. Every morning, millions of people around the world start their day with eggs for breakfast, a tradition that stretches back to prehistoric times. Modern poultry farms feed billions, while pet birds bring joy and companionship to homes across the globe. Birds remain powerful cultural symbols too, from the dove of peace to the eagle of strength and freedom. But here's something fascinating. The ways we interact with birds today mirror patterns established thousands of years ago. Just as ancient peoples kept birds for both practical and emotional reasons, we continue this dual relationship. From backyard chicken coops to exotic pet parrots, humans maintain that special bond first forged by our ancestors. The impact of bird domestication extends far beyond our plates and homes. Modern scientific research has revealed that those early bird tamers unknowingly sparked a genetic revolution. Through selective breeding, they created new varieties of birds better suited to human needs, a process that continues in modern agriculture and helps feed our growing world population. Did you know that some of today's most popular pet birds can trace their domesticated lineage back thousands of years? The budgerigar, now a beloved household companion, shares a history with those first birds that ancient peoples began to tame and breed. The story of bird domestication is truly a testament to human innovation and adaptability. It began with our ancestors looking to the skies and daring to dream that they could form partnerships with creatures that soared above them. That dream, born in prehistoric times, has evolved into a complex and vital relationship that continues to this day. From providing sustainable food sources to serving as loyal companions, from helping maintain ecological balance to inspiring art and culture, birds remain as important to human society now as they were thousands of years ago. That first moment when a human decided they could master the skies marked the beginning of a partnership that would forever change both species. It's remarkable to think that every time we interact with birds today, whether feeding pigeons in a park or raising chickens for eggs, we're continuing a tradition that began with those first brave innovators who looked up at the birds soaring overhead and thought, "What if?" As we've seen throughout this incredible journey, the domestication of birds was far more than just a survival strategy. It was a pivotal moment that forever transformed humanity's relationship with nature, reshaping everything from our daily meals to our deepest spiritual beliefs and the very structure of our societies. When you really think about it, isn't it amazing how something as seemingly simple as keeping chickens in a coop could have such profound effects on human history? These feathered pioneers helped our ancestors transition from nomadic hunters to settled farmers, contributed to the rise of the first great civilizations, and even influenced how we think about the connection between earth and sky. The next time you see birds in your backyard or enjoy eggs for breakfast, remember that you're participating in a tradition that stretches back thousands of years. You're part of a story that began when our ancestors first looked to the skies and dared to dream of partnership with these magnificent creatures. This remarkable journey of bird domestication reminds us that the greatest changes in human history often start with simple innovations. It shows us how the courage to try something new, to form unexpected partnerships, can lead to transformations that echo through the ages. Before we end this episode, take a moment to reflect on this. Every chicken coop, every morning egg, and every feather that catches your eye carries within it the legacy of those first brave souls who decided to befriend the creatures of the sky. If you've enjoyed exploring this fascinating chapter of human history with us, don't forget to like this video and share it with friends who love discovering the hidden stories of our past. Subscribe to The Dawn of Humankind for more incredible journeys through ancient times, where we uncover the remarkable innovations that shaped our world. Hit that notification bell to ensure you never miss our upcoming episodes about other amazing discoveries from our ancestors. Thank you for joining us on this amazing journey through time. Until our next adventure into the ancient world, keep looking to the skies and remember, some of humanity's greatest achievements started with the simplest of dreams.